Good evening, race fans, and welcome back to the Racing for Children's IndyCar Series. Fun, competitive racing for charity. We're back at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, round 11 for the Utopian Organics Grand Prix. As always, I'm your host, James East, bringing the action today to P60 frames a second. On behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, thank you for supporting such a great show, a great cause. The Racing for Children's IndyCar Series, not just an iRacing league. We're also racing to help raise awareness and funding to cure childhood cancer and blood disorders. Check them out. Get in on the action. MSR, IndyCarSeries.net. And you too can go race and support a fantastic charity. We are 11 rounds in after a brief off week. Right now, open qualifying is underway. And we've got Venomous Player. We've got Rice Neroni. Join us in the spectator area. I know Rice Neroni is out here racing today. That's going to be Andrew Naring. Not sure about Venomous Player. I feel like that one may be Alex Penn, possibly Jack Mundy, but I'll get confirmation on that from the drivers as we get ready and wrap up qualifying here today. Checking in on Paul Gibson, the doctor. Currently in that number one spot on the 31 machine. So we got 13 drivers making their way out. A late entry. Nick Terrell on number 81 machine going to get in some qualifying laps here. As the checkered flag is out here qualifying, Gibson should be able to finish his lap up. He's going to practice coming down pit road, it looks like, here at Indy. Nick Peterson, the number 88 machine, he's currently 9th here in qualifying. Looks like Terrell is going to put down a lap time, getting a little bit of seat time. And let's see, Terrell may have time to improve on that position. He's currently qualifying 13th. This will be his last chance to put down a timed lap. Terrell's going to get ready and wrap it up here. About 2/10 of a lap left. His last and really only chance here to put down a good qualifying run. And we did get a report that Alex Penn will be running as crew chief for Cornerstone Motorsports in a separate event. Let's see what Terrell was able to do. He does not improve his qualifying position. Still 13th that time with a 1 minute 15 second .2 time. Puts on a little bit of a smoke show as Nick Peterson follows in behind. Peterson's going to call it quits. Looks like Jack Mundy's going to do the same. And that will complete qualifying here at Indy Road. Mundy has internet issues, it looks like. Looks like Peterson just parked out on track, hanging out, taking it easy. And there we go. Qualifying is wrapped up and done. And let's get ready for tonight's main event here at the Utopian Organics GP. Drivers starting to make their way out onto the grid. Speaking of grid, let's go ahead and run through it. Starting on pole, Paul Gibson, the number 31 machine. Matt Brewer starting second. Jack Mundy starting third. Casey Carrington will be starting fourth. David Shutt starts fifth. Jerry Ziegler starting sixth. John Kasai starts seventh. Andrew Neri starting eighth. Nick Peterson starts ninth. Gareth McAllister starting 10th. Peter Rettinger starts 11th. Norman King starting 12th. And let's cycle it back. And then you've got Nick Terrell starting 13th and the 81 machine. As we're going to get set up behind our iRacing safety truck for 62 laps here this evening. as we've got something going on. Hold tight. We'll be right back and see if we can figure this out. There we go. Looks like we've got it ready to rock here behind that iRacing safety truck. Well, welcome to Steve Sim Station. He's cheering on Andrew Neri, making his way out. Now, it looks like Peter Renge, the number 44 machine, has some sort of problems, not able to join the field here. That's going to allow Norman King, Nick Terrell to move up one spot each, getting ready to start this main event. Waiting for that safety truck to come down pit road. And then we will signify the start of this main event. 62 laps. Paul Gibson, Matt Brewer on the top spots. Jack Mundy, Casey Carrington will be starting the second row. Ziegler and Schutt will be your third row. Safety truck is in. Green flag is out here in Indianapolis on the road course. And already some drivers shuffling around positions trying to catch the draft. Looks like Mundy having some pretty ferocious blinking there. The number 32 machine as they dive into turn one. It's going to make a bit of a sticky situation as Carrington checks up right behind them. You can see Jared Ziegler taking a look at the inside line at David Schutt. Right now the top 7 drivers still in single file formation. Oh, and that looks like it was Carrington going for a spin. Carrington looks like he tagged the wall there. And David Schutt also having issues. So let's take a quick look, see what happened to those 2 drivers. There goes Carrington for a wild ride. He's going to edge it into the wall. Let's see what happened to David Schutt up ahead and the number 24. Oh, just locks up the brakes, goes off track into the grass, and tries to collect himself. The 2 drivers having issues early on. And now Schutt's going to put the hammer down. Look like he's getting around Nick Terrell's number 81 machine. Terrell quickly fires back. Let's go a little bit further ahead to Paul Gibson, leading the first lap here at Indy Road. He's got about a 9/10 gap over Matt Brewer. You can also see Jack Mundy holding on in third. And it looks like Jared Ziegler. Oh, we've got big problems towards the back. Casey Carrington, Peter Renge. Not sure what happened to Renge, as he had just got back out on track and immediately registered a crash report. We've got a battle for a 7th place underway. That's Nick Peterson and Gareth McAllister. And right ahead of them, you can also see, I believe that's going to be John Kasai fending off Andrew Nary's 65 machine. Kasai up 2 spots, as well as Nary. Carrington has made it down to pit road to maybe use that one fast repair to get that machine fixed, get back out on track, try and salvage a few points here this evening. You can see Carrington leaving the pits in the 03 machine, the bright yellow car. Oh, Andrew Nary has a big problem. I think that was in turn 1. He's going to lose a spot to McAllister as well as Peterson. Let's see what happened to Nary. This is going to be diving into turn 1 here at Indy. I'm wondering if he maybe just overcooks it on the brakes. Yes. Gets hard on the brakes to avoid getting to Kasai, and the rest of the field's going to slide on by. Oh, McAllister throws away that advantage he had with quite a sketchy rejoin. Norman King's right behind him, as well as David Shutt. It's the battle for 8th, 9th, and 10th. So already quite a bit. As we return to the action, Paul Gibson still leading the charge, getting a lot of love from the fans here as well. He's got Emma and Lily Gibson cheering on, courtesy of Sarah Gibson on the YouTube side of today's broadcast, supporting their pops. Paul Gibson, the doctor in the 31, he's built up a 2.2 second advantage Now, if we go back to about the 6th place spot, we have a pretty frantic battle. You've got Peterson, Neri, and Schutt running 6th, 7th, and 8th here, separated by less than 0.7 of a second. As the 3 drivers jockey for position. Looks like we still have 11 drivers on the lead lap. Carrington and Rettinger will lag behind ever so slightly as they get back up to pace to get things dialed in. Now as we go on board, David Schutt's number 24 machine. You can see a bit of a lockup there from Neri. Schutt backs out of it, not wanting to throw his nose into the mix too much, but what a great shot of that 3-car battle. It's still Peterson, Neri, Schutt, 6th, 7th, 8th. Looks like Jared Ziegler just ahead. Oh, I think we just saw somebody go blitzing by. But Mundy and Ziegler side by side. Now, these 2 drivers have had history before and other open wheel racing where Ziegler came out on top, but Mundy with very, very bad connection issues. Trying to hold on to it here. So it looks like Ziegler's going to shake him off ever so slightly. We go back to the 3-car battle for 6th. Neri about 0.3 back from Peterson and about 0.7 ahead of David Schutt. And it looks like McAllister in the number 25 machine, the world-famous Australian, starting to close up to this fray as well to see if he can get maybe a front wing into the mix. But again, Neri with a lockup behind Peterson. Not sure if he's going in a little bit deeper than he imagined he would. But Neri absolutely stalking Peterson here as they go into 1 now. Let's watch. Neri's in this same spot a few laps prior behind Kasai and had a massive moment going into 1. Looks like a little bit more calm this time by. And now Schutt and McAllister are trying to gain a little bit of time as well. Right now, Peterson, and it's going to be Terrell, your hard charger, as well as Jared Ziegler. All 3 drivers up 3 spots gained so far. Oh no, Neri throws it in too deep. Gets into Peterson. David Schutt was able to get through there. And there is going to be a full course caution for that one. The big moment there between Neri and Peterson. Let's take a quick look. Actually, let's take a slow look on the Utopian Organic sponsored instant replay. We're focusing on Andrew Neri in the 65 machine, who I believe is just going to overcook it in the braking zone. Let's watch. Neri steps out, throws it in deep, and just wasn't going to make it, unfortunately. He absolutely drills the side of Peterson, and oh no, Schutt did not get out of that one unscathed. What about McAllister? McAllister able to glide on through there, but that's going to be our first full course caution of the evening, with the contact between Andrew Neri, Nick Peterson, and then David Schutt getting collected. So let's see, 10 laps in, our first full course caution of the evening. Now race control being provided by Mr. Joseph Penn, the one and only, keeping drivers in line, literally and figuratively here as we're under caution. Now, it looks like all drivers involved in that incident are going to be able to stay out on track and try and make it back to pit road and get some repairs done on these machines. And it looks like a large portion of the field coming down pit road. Ziegler, Kasai, McAllister, Shutt, Terrell, Neri, King, all down pit road. Looks like Gibson, Brewer, Mundy, and Peterson will opt to stay out. Valuing the track condition and staying true to their pit cycle. So we are currently, if you're just tuned in, we're rolling around under pacing conditions with our first full course caution of the evening. And while we are under caution, if you want to support the Racing for Children Foundation, in the description of the broadcast is the donation link. If you want to support such a fantastic cause, a great charity, so for this restart, it's going to be Gibson, Brewer, Mundy, Peterson, and Ziegler, your top five. Keep an eye out on Ziegler back in fifth in that 57 machine, as every driver in front of him is still out on their original set of tires. Pace truck should be making its way in this time by. Yes, pace truck is in. Gibson will set the stage. Green flag is out. Away we go for the first restart of the evening. Gibson, Brewer, Mundy leading the charge into turn one. You see Peterson has moved up to fourth, edging out Ziegler. And already we've got heartbreaks. That looked like it was, oh, it's going to be a big one. Peter Rettinger was tied up in that one. Looks like Kasai went off track as well. So a quick look to see what happened to Rettinger there on the restart, with him taking a tow back to pit road. Oh, Rettinger just slammed into somebody. Kasai takes evasive maneuvers. And thankfully, no full course caution. I think that was Peterson, the number 88, who got a very hard hit from behind. Not seeing any wing damage on him. Let's see Trying to get a nice tight angle there. As Kasai takes over the 6th place spot. Looks like Nick Terrell also getting around Peterson. Peterson's going to come down pit road, getting some repairs done. But yes, Peterson did face heavy damage in that crash. And up front, we've got a battle for second. Jack Mundy, Matt Brewer. Mundy taking over the 2nd place spot. Brewer tucks in behind, so allowing Gibson to extend his lead to 1.4 seconds. Brewer staying right there with the now 2nd place driver. Mundy is only up 1 spot, but another big blink from Mundy. That's going to make it very, very tough for Brewer to pick any places to try and make a move. Unable to predict where the young British driver is going to be at. Brewer takes a peek to the inside line, backs out of it. Ziegler watches from behind in the 4th place, number 57, the bright yellow car. And Brewer all over Mundy here. Oh, a big send out of Brewer. Takes over the 2nd place spot, slamming the door on Jack Mundy. And now it looks like Ziegler's going to be able to join the party. Let's take a quick look at that pass because it was absolutely clean. Brewer just sends it up the inside line. A bit of a micro lockup. Mundy heavily having to lift there to avoid going off track. Another good battle out on the circuit, the battle for 5th, John Kasai, as Gareth McAllister now behind him. So Kasai's made it 2 positions gained, edging out the world-famous Australian 14 laps in. We did get confirmation that Redger has retired for the evening. And here comes David Shutt trying to work his way back up front. He's down 3 spots from where he started. And he has made it less than 4/10 of a second behind Nick Terrell's 81. Terrell up 6 positions so far. So somebody out on track is getting a little bit of luck, and it's going to be Terrell in that 81, our current hard charger. Let's see, turn 1, a good passing opportunity on the brakes. Terrell closes the gap to McAllister, takes a look at the inside line. Here we go, Terrell. Ooh, locking up the brakes to make it happen. McAllister fires back, trying to make it happen on the outside line. But, oh, no, another checkup as McAllister narrowly avoids getting to the back of Terrell. That's going to allow David Shutt to squeeze back into 7th place. Now Shutt's going to stay focused on Terrell, seeing if he can work back up into 6th place. Shutt still down 2 spots from where he started after that early incident. This is definitely the closest battle we have out on track. Shutt trying to work the draft against Terrell. Not quite able to close the distance going into 1. Looks like McAllister has closed the gap slightly as well. And that number 25 machine, always easy to spot in the bright yellow. A lockup out of Terrell. Shutt takes a look at the inside line, not quite able to make it happen. And there we go. David Shutt continues his charge up towards the front, edging out Terrell. A bit of blink there. Now let's go a little bit further ahead. Look at this battle going on. Jared Ziegler has Jack Mundy right behind him as well. It's like John Kasai closing the gap at number 3. Now I think that's Carrington. Yes, a lap down behind this battle, so he's not going to interfere with Ziegler and Mundy, but Ziegler has worked his way back up into podium contention. Let's see, Mundy, not known for his patience, going to look back to the inside line into one. Oh, narrowly avoids contact there. So Ziegler will hold on to the third place position, pan a little bit further back. Nick Terrell, David Shutt, Gareth McAllister still in a 3-car battle for 6th. Terrell has made it 7 spots gained now. But Shutt not going to let him have it too easy here. Shutt's going to try and get lined up for the inside line. Wheel to wheel, Shutt takes the spot. Look at McAllister throwing it in there. Seeing if he can get around Terrell, not quite able to complete that pass. Shutt has worked his way back up into 6th after a roller coaster of an evening, qualified 5th, dropped way down the standings. And here we are again. Oh no, this time it's going to be John Kasai pressuring Jack Mundy. Kasai moving up into 4th, setting up the inside line into 1. Mundy may be having problems here as he's starting to fall back just ever so slightly. Ziegler has pulled a 2.9 second, let's call it 3-second advantage now over the 4th and 5th place drivers. I think Mundy has something wrong here. He's quickly lost Kasai, now 9/10 behind the propane man himself. So Kasai stretching a 1.5 second advantage, but look at this, Matt Brewer in 2nd place comes down pit road. That's going to be his first stop of the night, but we check back in with Paul Gibson, your race leader. He is still on his original set of tires, his original tank of fuel as well. But now with Brewer down pit road, he's going to have a 7.4 second advantage over the rest of the field. And a little bit further back, David Shutt battling with almost a halfway invisible Jack Mundy. Takes over the 4th place spot. Shutt is on fire here, continuing that forward momentum. Now this is going to stack the field up a little bit, 4th through about 7th place. As I say that, Jack Mundy comes down pit road for a green flag stop, the 32 machine. That means everybody has come down pit road except for Paul Gibson, your race leader. And it looks like Matt Brewer had problems and takes a tow back to pit road. Let's see what happened to Brewer. Well, that's not ideal. Not quite sure what. Oh, let's see. Let's back that up a lot. He was off track for about 30 seconds, I believe. Loses the back end. And does a little bit of damage on the front left. Not sure why he was there for so long. Maybe hoping for a full course caution. As we're watching McAllister try and track down Terrell. I think Jack Mundy has problems in pit road. He was there for 16.2 seconds, a very long time. We've also got, looks to be the battle for 8th, starting to tighten up a little bit. Andrew Neri is down 1 spot in 9th. Nick Peterson up 1 spot in 8th, separated by less than a half second here. Not quite to the halfway mark of today's main event, as we're on board with Andrew Neri in the 65. It is fast, fast, fast here at Indy. Oh, there's a little bit of a lockup from Peterson. These Indy cars a little bit touchy on the brakes. Ooh, Neri 2/10 behind. Is he going to try and make a move here into 1? No, but you can see the rotors glowing off that 65 machine. And Peterson will hold on to about a 1/6 of a second advantage. A little bit further ahead, looks like McAllister and Terrell still linked up nose to tail, running 5th and 6th. Terrell's up 8 positions so far. Meanwhile, McAllister has gained 4. I'm also curious to see how long will Paul Gibson stay out for. As we check back in on Gibson, your race leader, he is on the soft compound tires, the reds underneath them. Not sure what the pit window is going to be here, with the full course caution allowing drivers to fuel save ever so slightly. But Gibson, no stranger to big strategy moves to make something happen. And once again, here's the battle for Peterson and Neri. It was separated by about 2/10 of a second. Oh, and it looks like a little bit of a bobble from Peterson will allow Neri to take over the 8th place spot. John Kasai coming down pit road for his green flag stop. Terrell opts to stay out. We wait for John Kasai's number 3 machine to roll out of pit road. Checking back in with Gareth McAllister, number 25 machine. You're on board. Watching him try and make something happen, catching back up to Nick Terrell. Now, Terrell and McAllister, I've seen these guys run surely hundreds of races together over the last several years of my broadcasting career, and they're very equally paced on a whole lot of different disciplines. And while this battle is going on, Paul Gibson, your race leader, the 31, is down pit road for his first stop of the night, 23 laps in. McAllister right in the slipstream. These guys are about 5.2 seconds back from David Shutt, who sits in second. Now, I'm curious to watch Gibson have to cut through traffic here, as he's on a different pit cycle than a large portion of the field. Gibson rolls back out on track. As Terrell and McAllister find themselves battling for a podium spot, Terrell now up 10 positions gained. Still have 11 drivers out on track, as Matt Brewer and Peter Renger unfortunately had to retire. We did get word from Renger, the Austrian, the number 44. He did have VR hookup issues. losing sight in the car. Jared Ziegler down pit road as well. It's going to put Schutt as your race leader, allowing Terrell McAllister to move up to second and third. Schutt's going to be about 5.8 seconds ahead of Terrell. And man, this is a game of consistency. Who can make the least amount of bobbles? Terrell's going to hold on to it. McAllister still in tow. Schutt, now your race leader. He has had quite an up and downhill battle throughout the evening, but he's going to have a 6-second gap over Terrell and McAllister. Both drivers just about the same pace so they can harass each other. And that's going to slow down their pace a little bit each time. Last time by, Schutt was about 0.7 to a second faster than these two drivers, allowing him to extend that gap just a little bit more each and every lap. And look at the rotors glowing. Glowing, glowing. Gone is McAllister, losing the back end. Loading up the front of the car, and that's going to allow Nick Terrell a chance to break away. Take one more look at that on our instant replay. Too much curving, and around it goes. McAllister, that is not what he was looking for. And that's going to give Nick Terrell a massive breakaway. Let's check back in with your now race leader, Davis Schutt, the number 24 machine. He's got a big blink as well at an inopportune time, coming out of the start-finish line straight here at Indianapolis. And he has got clean track all around him here. A 7.2 second gap over Nick Terrell. I believe that may have been Jack Mundy we just saw ahead of your race leader by about 7 or 8 seconds, I believe. And closing gap very quickly, so Schutt's going to have a little bit of traffic to contend with if all things remain constant here. So now he's about 5 seconds behind traffic with Mundy. Looks like things are pretty clear ahead of Schutt. That purple and fluorescent yellow number 24 machine. He's up 4 spots of his qualifying spot after he fell down the standings rapidly and was involved in a pretty good hit on the front end of that number 24, but still holding about an 8.3 second margin over Nick Terrell. Paul Gibson kind of in no man's land as well as he sits 5th. He's off the pit strategy as a large portion of the other drivers. I'm a little bit surprised Schutt's not reeling in Mundy, who sits in 10th, as quickly as I thought he would be. Schutt may know, hey, I've got a pretty big gap. Let's just focus on hitting our fuel numbers and see where this thing may fall at. like he's gaining very, very slowly on Monday. Who's going to be the next driver? I believe he'll go a lap down unless Shutt comes down pit road relatively soon. Shutt's last pit stop was on lap 10 under caution. The most we've seen drivers do is about 24 laps on a tank, including that lap, 2 laps under caution. So I would expect Shutt needs to come down pit road around lap 32, 33 at the latest here before he is worried about running out of fuel. Still have, looks to be about 10 drivers on the lead lap. Matt Brewer, Peter Render have put it back in the virtual hauler early on here this evening. Now, I'm curious to see what Shutt's lap time is going to be this time by. His fastest of the race was a 1:13.14. Last time by, he did a 1:13.7. So is he still hot lapping, or is he backed out of it slightly? We wait for the time to update here. 1:13.74. So Mr. Consistency, David Shutt, only running 6/10 off his fastest laps of the evening. He is on the hard compound tires now. Norman King comes down pit road for a green flag stop. It's going to allow Paul Gibson to move up into 4th now. Gibson was one of the first drivers down pit road on lap 23 after he had about an 8-second advantage at the end of the fuel run. Checking back in with Shutt, the number 24 machine. Still gaining a little bit of time. And let's take a lap or two on board with David Shutt to see what it looks like to go fast here at Indy Road Course. My time's reading correctly. Shutt with another 1:13.74. I don't know how much more consistent you can be than that. That looked like identical lap times the last 2 times by. So Shutt in a very, very good groove here. But now I think he's going to have a little bit of track to contend with on this lap, as we can just barely see Monday ahead. We have whittled it down to 9 drivers on the lead lap. And this could very well come down to a fuel strategy race for these drivers. And Shutt trying to get slowed down on time on pit road. We'll keep an eye out to make sure he did get slowed down time. We'll keep an eye on that pit stop. He should be in and out of a stall in about 9 seconds. If, and that's a big if, he did not get any penalties there, any speeding penalties. As you can see, Nick Terrell, he's going to take over the race lead. Gareth McAllister's going to move up to second. As we wait for Shutt to hit his pit stall and see what's going to happen. That's going to put Paul Gibson back into third. And it looks like Shutt was good on pit entry, in and out of a stall in 9.6 seconds. Now look at this, McAllister still about 2.8 seconds back from Terrell. Neri also down pit road for a green flag stop, just past the halfway mark of the evening. And there we go, Terrell's going to come down pit road. McAllister stays out. I think he's going to get credit for a lap led here. Yes, he is. So McAllister will take the start-finish line on starting lap 34 as your race leader as Terrell's down pit road. Terrell's down pit road. Neri's down pit road. Looks like Jack Mundy has retired from this event. That's going to put McAllister, Gibson, Ziegler your top three. McAllister has not been down pit road since lap 10. Gibson and Ziegler both came in at lap 23 and 24. So let's see how much longer McAllister can stretch that run out for, how long he can stay out on track. McAllister taking that opportunity to come down pit road. That should put Paul Gibson back as your race leader. His last pit stop was on lap 23. So I think here Gibson may be able to just have one more stop on the docket to bring this thing home. And that's going to put, I believe, Ziegler. Ziegler was about 25 seconds back. And I believe Ziegler has, yes he does, David Shutt right behind him. Here we go, what is now the battle for second. David Shutt, a big sin at the inside line. There's going to be Gibson, Shutt, Ziegler, 1, 2, 3. Kasai currently fourth. Now, I think Shutt on much fresher tires, 8 to 9 lap fresher tires than either Gibson or Ziegler, accompanying him inside the top three. Shutt came down pit road last on lap 32. As Shutt tries to extend his gap here, seeing if he can stretch away ever so slightly. Now it looks like he's going to do it against Ziegler. But still, Paul Gibson 17.2 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. Now Shutt, with those fresher tires, it's interesting to see, can he do any sort of action to try and close that gap? We only have 9 drivers out on track. with 3 drivers retiring early. Looks like Andrew Neri had a bit of a problem there in the 65 machine. He's going to lose a spot to Peterson. Taking a quick look to see what happened to our friend in the 65. Looked like it was a solo incident. Just a little bit too much on the brakes, and thankfully ran into the runoff area. So keeping it on the tarmac. That's going to give Peterson now an 8th, a massive 4.5 second advantage. The field very spread out at this part. As that's David Shutt getting ready to put Peterson a lap down here. Hard charger so far in the evening. Still Nick Terrell. He's running 5th in the 81 machine, up 8 positions gained. Oh, and another blink there out of Shutt. Bryce, he's going to try and get around Peterson. Shutt's going to take a peek at the inside line. Peterson's going to make it easy. "25 laps left to go here at Indianapolis." Checking back in on Paul Gibson. He's whittled it down to just 7 drivers on the lead lap. And Gibson, a 17.6 second advantage. Trying to see, I don't think there's even that much traffic. The next driver he's going to catch, I believe, will be Norman King, running 7th, and the number 28 machine will take a peek over at King and see how he's doing. He's up 5 positions gained so far, and he's in a great spot. Clean track all the way around him. He's 23 seconds back from McAllister, 30 seconds ahead of Nick Peterson. So King in a good position here just to click off laps, hot lap, make it look easy. King's last time by a 1:15.68. His fastest lap of the race, a 1:14.16. So definitely a little bit off the pace, but also not having too much to worry about here. Just clicking off laps. And sometimes as a racer, it's a little bit harder to put those fastest laps down when you really don't have that driver in front of you or that carrot to chase. Handing back over to Paul Gibson. He's about 7 seconds behind. King out on track here. And Gibson just making it look smooth as always. They don't call him the doctor for no reason, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Consistency each and every week here at the Racing for Children's IndyCar Series. Now, I'm sure as I say that, the commentator's curse will strike hard and fast, but hopefully not as Gibson. He's been looking for a little bit better luck so far this year. Now, this is round 11 of 13 for these drivers. Next week, we go to the Team Goon Squad 235 at Worldwide Technology Raceway and Oval. Before finally we finish off the season, October 25th, the Grand Prix of Monterey at Laguna Seca. Now Gibson, your current race leader, also your points leader so far this season. He's about 86 points ahead of Colin Weatherholt. Weatherholt unfortunately not here this evening. Jared Ziegler third in points. He's about 150 points back from Gibson, but with how strong Ziegler's running here this evening, may be able to close that gap. And David Shutt trying to make some moves as well. He is ninth, but he's run a very limited season so far. And just out here for the glory of it. As here we go, Gibson, a little bit of traffic, looks like it's going to be King. Oh, King trying to go wide to let your race leader by. It looks like he's going to help facilitate that pass. And away goes Gibson, nice and clean. Now Gibson, definitely a veteran to iRacing and open wheel racing. Not going to put that car in too risky of a position here to throw away a massive 20-second lead. But I'm curious to see how the pit cycles are going to work here. I believe Gibson just has the box one more time and he should make it till the end of this. Looks like McAllister had a bit of a solo car incident. Let's see what happened to the young Australian driver, the 25. Too much brakes and then an off-track excursion. Does he keep it pointing the right direction? Yes, he does. Well done to McAllister. Car shimmies a little bit after that, but he's driving so incredibly hard to try and catch up to Nick Terrell, who's in 5th place. Terrell still your hard charge of the evening. But now he's got a target ahead. You can just see John Kasai's all-white number 3 machine ahead. Kasai's last time by, a 114.66 compared to Terrell, a 114.78. Five seconds separating Kasai in 4th with Terrell in 5th. Still 10 drivers out on track searching for points. Now I'm extremely curious, when are we going to see Gibson come down pit road? His last pit stop was on lap 23. He has a 21-second advantage over Shutt. I think both drivers got in the box one final time to make it till the end. And as I say it, Gibson comes down pit road, dips a couple of tires into the grass for what should be his final stop of the evening. How's this going to pan out? Where is David Shutt going to be once it's all said and done? What a painfully slow pit road speed here at Indy. And here comes David Shutt, who's going to pass Gibson on pit road as it's now 18 laps left to go. How far behind is Gibson going to be after what we think is the final stop? Jared Ziegler moves up into second. John Kasai also coming down pit road. So how will the overcut strategy of Shutt pan out? He came down pit road on lap 32. Nick Terrell moves up into third. Gibson comes out on track about 23.3 seconds back from Shutt, who we are fairly confident he's going to have to box one more time. That may allow Gibson to pull this off on strategy here. John Kasai rolls back out on track as well after his final stop of the evening. Now, interesting, that's Kasai's third time down pit road. Everybody ahead of him at this point has only come down pit road twice. And Shutt leading by a fairly large margin. You can see Jared Ziegler in the background of your screen. That's what a 4.8 second gap looks like between the first and second place drivers. Nick Terrell holding on to the third place position as Gibson and McAllister round out the top five. And already Gibson putting the pressure on third place Nick Terrell. Quickly trying to make that happen. Terrell holds onto it by 1/4 of a second, but Gibson's got fresh tires underneath them. Gibson says, I do not have time to mess around here. Coming out on track on reds. Terrell's on the black compound tires underneath them. 17 laps left to go. Now, this is where I would expect to see some fast laps from Gibson. Jared Ziegler, who is running second, comes down pit road. His final stop of the evening. Gibson works the inside line against Terrell. He's going to take over what is now third place, soon to be second if they can get around Ziegler, who's on pit road. Still about 21 seconds back from your race leader, David Shutt. Make it 16 laps left to go. Now it's Shutt, Gibson, Terrell, your top three. McAllister works his way up into fourth. Kasai will be joining us here in the top five shortly. Now we think Shutt, Terrell, McAllister inside that top four are going to have to come down pit road one more time. We think Gibson's good to go till the end here. Now, John Kasai just put down the fastest lap of the race back in sixth, a 1:12.39. Just maybe a thousandth or 2 seconds than Gibson, who's also clicked off a 1:12.39. So Kasai finding something late in the evening with 15 laps left to go is feeling good here. David Shutt, who is down pit road, as well as Andrew Neri, their final stops. That's going to put the lead back to Paul Gibson. Nick Terrell, Gareth McAllister will round out the top three. We know Terrell and McAllister have to box at least one more time. Kasai may look good here to make something happen. Last pit stop was on lap 44. We know he has pace at this point of the run. That would be quite the comeback story if the Texas native can somehow sneak into a podium position here. Neri is out of pit road. Looks like all the last round of pit cycles were good. Carrington's coming down pit road for his final stop of the evening. There's Neri just ahead of John Kasai. Neri right inside the top 10 here. Looks like Kasai very slowly gaining on Neri. Carrington making it to his pit stall. Checking back in on Paul Gibson, 5 seconds ahead of Nick Terrell. Terrell about 3 seconds ahead of McAllister, but we think both Terrell and McAllister are going to come down pit road one more time. That may allow David Shutt and Jared Ziegler to work back into podium spots. Very differing pit strategies so far this evening. Oh, we've got more problems. That time it was Paul Gibson, I believe, with a big blink. And now... Nick Terrell, Gareth McAllister down pit road for their final stops of the evening. As we predicted, David Shutt, Jared Ziegler have worked their way into podium contention. John Kasai is going to work his way up to 4th. Now your top 3, Gibson, Shutt, Ziegler came in a lap 44, 47, and 46. We think those final stops are going to be enough to make it till the end on fuel with 12 laps left to go. It is still going to be decided here. Checking back in on Paul Gibson, your race leader. You can see Nick Peterson just ahead. That's going to be 7 drivers on the lead lap. Peterson, the next driver, at risk of going a lap down. And we're fairly confident Peterson's going to have to come down pit road for one more stop to fuel up and make it till the end here. $11 laps left to go here at Indianapolis for the Utopian Organics Grand Prix. And again, just 2 more races left in the season before we crown our very first champion. Gibson clicking off laps, made it look easy, closing the gap now to about 2 seconds back from Peterson. Peterson getting set up for turn 1 here as Gibson charges down the start-finish line stretch. You could just barely see the all-red number 88 machine. Now 10 laps left to go. Will Peterson get overtaken by Gibson before he has to come down pit road? Gibson would much prefer to see that 88 machine coming down pit road. Neri has problems once more in the 65. Losing that time he was gaining to Casey Carrington. There's Carrington making his way down the start-finish line in the 03 machine, 2.6 seconds ahead of Neri. And what will eventually be the battle for ninth. Looks like John Kasai was in between those two as well. Kasai running fourth overall. So Kasai has Carrington, the 03 machine, is a lap down ahead of him. And Andrew Neri, who's closing the gap now behind him, also a lap down. I think if these three bunch up, Kasai's going to hop out of the mix and try and just keep that car nice and shiny so he can make it here to the end and have a good, strong finish. Nine laps left to go here at Indy. Now Peterson's still ahead of Paul Gibson. Fighting to stay on the lead lap, and here comes Nick Terrell. He's coming down pit road with 9 to go. His final stop of the race. He may lose that top 5 spot as McAllister running 6th. He came in late on lap 50. Yes, McAllister climbs up inside the top 5. Terrell, though, still a hard charger, up 7 spots gained. And there's Paul Gibson rapidly closing the door to Peterson. We're going to make it 6 drivers in the lead lap. Terrell goes down a lap on pit road as Gibson charges into turn 1. Gibson right behind Peterson. I think Peterson's only hope at this point would be a full course caution, which is fairly unlikely with how far apart the field is spread at this point. Gibson taking his time, it looks like last time by a 1:13.44. Over 1.1 seconds slower than his fastest lap of the race. So I think he knows he has a massive gap, a 28-second advantage over David Shutt. It's going to be 7 laps left to go the next time he comes by to tick off a lap. So just playing it safe, taking it easy. As it looks like, yes, there's Peterson down pit road, his final stop. He will go a lap down. Gibson now making it 5 drivers in the lead lap. Rapidly blitzing through the field. We're 7 laps left to go. Round 11 of the Racing for Children's IndyCar Series. McAllister is going to move up into 5th place. Terrell is going to take over 6 from Peterson. Gibson just clicking off laps, not having any issues here. Again, extremely consistent, right around that 1 minute 13.4 mark. 1 minute 13.3 to 0.4 is what we're seeing pretty consistently out of Gibson. And that is what wins championships, is just being consistent, finishing races strong. And keeping the car here by the time it's all said and done. Oh, we get a crash report. Neri has a few problems here. Looked like that was either in front or behind a Kasai. Let's see what happened. Looks like he's going to be behind John Kasai. Oh, just doesn't get the car slowed down in time. Heavy on the brakes, locking it up. I'm sure Kasai saw that from the rear view and took a moment to breathe heavy and be a little bit thankful he didn't get tied up in anything. Six laps left to go. I think Gibson's looking good here. I don't think he's going to have much, if any, more track to contend with. He's got McAllister about 12 seconds ahead of him. McAllister and Gibson actually ran almost identical lap times that last time by. So Gibson shouldn't be feeling too much stress here about what's ahead or behind him. 5 laps left to go here at Indianapolis. Five laps left to go. He's cycling a little bit further back. Looks like we do have a battle for 8th underway. Peterson has caught up to Carrington. This will be the battle for 8th. Peterson in red, Carrington in yellow. Peterson hops out of the draft into what looks like he's going to make it happen. Nice and easy. No worries there. Peterson now up 1 spot. Carrington down 5 from where he originally qualified. Now Carrington is on 7-lap older tires than Peterson here. Another interesting point of topic. Looks like Ziegler slowly closing the gap here to Schutt. Running about 6 to 7 tenths faster than Schutt did that last time by. Schutt still has a 2.9 second advantage over the big green mean machine, the 57 of Jared Ziegler, but you can see the purple and fluorescent yellow, number 24 of Schutt, just ahead. So we may still have some racing left to go here for these drivers. And it's going to come down to consistency as well. Both Schutt and Ziegler have been very smooth, but it doesn't look like Ziegler is able to close too much of a gap here against the number 24. Schutt still holding on right about that 2.8 to 2.9 second advantage with 3 laps left to go here at Indy. The Utopian Organics Grand Prix. Paul Gibson, your race leader. David Schutt runs second. Jared Ziegler third. John Kasai, Gareth McAllister rounding out the top 5. Checking in on Schutt. 2.8 seconds ahead of Ziegler. 31 seconds back from Paul Gibson. Oh, another blink out of the number 24. Doesn't look like it affects the times too much. Ziegler has whittled it down to 2.6, but 3 laps left to go. Not sure if that battle's going to come to fruition. We check back in on race leader Paul Gibson. He's getting ready to click off another lap, making it 2 to go here at Indy. He did a 113.47 his last time by. Let's see what it updates to. A 113.6, so no big rush. Not trying to set a lap record here. But speaking of battles, here we go, a 3-car battle for 7th. It's King, Peterson, and Carrington battling for 7th, 8th, and 9th. Peterson's closing the gap to King, 3/10 back. Carrington staying right there in the draft as well. Are we going to see Peterson take a shot into turn one? Doesn't look like he has enough built up. Kind of backs out of it. Slow in, fast out goes Peterson. Carrington still watching from behind. Looked like a little bit of a bobble from both King and Peterson. On board with Carrington. He's running ninth, watching the battle for seventh just ahead of him. The white flag is out for Paul Gibson. Oh, here we go. Carrington takes a peek to the inside line. Has the door shut by Peterson. And again, a white flag is out for Paul Gibson as we were watching a frantic battle for seventh to close out the night here. Peterson, an absolute hot pursuit of King. Carrington, knowing these two drivers going side by side, is going to slow down the pace slightly. We may see a 2-for-1 maneuver out of Carrington. But Carrington is a little bit further back to the start finish line. This is going to set up a good draft for Peterson going into one. King defends on the inside line. Look at the massive run from Carrington. Carrington gives his draft support to Peterson. They both go inside. Oh, was there a little bit of contact there between Norman and King? Everybody gets through okay. A bit of a smoking around goes King. Spinning out of control. It's like a quick, oh no, actually up first. Paul Gibson's going to bring home the win here in Indianapolis, the Utopian Organics Grand Prix. Let's take a quick look to see what happened to Norman King though. Oh, I think there's a little bit of contact, ever so slightly, between Carrington and King, but the crash actually happened afterwards where King lost the back end. So Paul Gibson has wrapped up the win. Here comes David Shutt bringing home second. And Jared Ziegler will round out the top three. Gibson's going to smoke it down and enjoy the victory. As we wait for these drivers to get up here in victory lane. Looks like we've got Gibson, we've got Ziegler. Still waiting on Shutt. But I believe it's going to bring it down to pit road. So we're still waiting on David Shutt to make his way up here to victory lane as he brings it home on pit road. And up first, we are going to get Jared Ziegler joining us from the third place spot. Jared, welcome back to the podium room. A lot of clean side-by-side racing we saw out of you here this evening.
Yeah, and it's not welcome back. It's my first podium of the season.
Well, Jared,
so
where you been, buddy?
It's a fun race. I don't know. I've been trying my hardest to get here.
Yeah,
and I just couldn't get here.
I lost track of all the close ones. You had so many fourth place finishes on the board, but seemed like Indy Road kind of helped bring it together. Some good pit strategies, and Yeah, as you said, first podium so far this season.
Yeah, I had a really good outing here last race here, second race of the season here, and I've just missed it there. I crashed coming in a pit road one time, so it put me from battling for I think third and fourth to down into eighth. So I almost wrecked to go on the pit road again this week. So I'm happy I didn't. I barely clipped the grass on pit entry and somehow got it slowed up before I hit the wall. So that's good news for me.
Yeah, now what makes that pit entry so tough? We saw several drivers dipping those right tires into the grass. And is it just the speed entry? Is the angle? What makes it so tough coming on pit road here at Indy?
Oh, it's just I don't know. It's a blind corner, and it's just even more blind for the pin entry. So you think, oh, I can push 20 meters later even into the brake zone and get a like apex the pit entry. No, you have to brake at the normal point basically. So it's definitely a very tough one. Probably one of the hardest. I think Barber is probably the hardest. Yeah, just getting on and off pit road is tough, and especially having to do it 2 times under green flag conditions. I probably messed up on my caution as well when I pit under caution. So glad to keep it safe and keep a clean car all racing around.
Well, Jared, great race. Good to have you back up here in the top three for the first time this season. Before I let you go, who do you want to give a shout out to that helped make it happen for you?
I had to give a shout out to Utopian Organics. Of course, they're sponsoring a race this weekend. John Kasai actually raced for us, the owner of that company. So big thanks to him for helping us out this season. It was big thanks to him. Him and I had a fantastic battle all race long. Of course, I want to thank Monday as well. Him and I had some pretty good battles as well. But of course, Team Goon Squad broadcasting all season long. It's been fun watching these back. Racing for Children's, they do a fantastic job. Charity to help childhood cancer and blood disorders. And then we also have our other sponsors, Propane Depot, Martial Arts, MSR Performance Engineering, and Nemesis Labs for putting on a good show for us. And just all the admins to help us out. Been a blast all season long. We got 2 races to go. There's still P2 in the championship for me, so I'm still going to be fighting for that. Hopefully get 2 more podiums as well with it.
Awesome, Jerry. We wish you the best of luck and hope to have you back up here in those remaining rounds, my friend.
And 4, I hope to see you again soon. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you. That was Jared Ziegler bringing home the third place spot. Up next, David Shutt, the number 24 machine. A great finish, a great second place, running a limited schedule, but we very consistently see you up in the top 3, and looked like tonight quickly became a strategy-driven type of race.
Yeah, unfortunately, the strategy was just because I started last and had a terrible first stint there. So I was just doing anything I could to get through the field. So, yeah, on that caution, I restarted last. So I'm pretty happy with the second.
Yeah, a bit of a roller coaster of an evening for sure for you. And David, with that impact, I think it was with Kasai and maybe Peterson. You kind of got collected in that. Did you have to use your fast repair after that incident?
No, I actually didn't use my fast repair to the last pit stop. I just repaired all the damage.
Now, having that fast repair still in the back pocket, did that give you a little bit more confidence to start charging through the field after that rough opening stint? Was that kind of a confidence booster?
I don't really think so. I don't think I really had another choice. Just had to go for it either way.
Well, next week we've got Worldwide Technology. We've got Laguna coming up to round out this season. Still some guys out there battling for points. Which one of those tracks are you pretty pumped to be out and feeling pretty good about racing out of those 2?
I don't think I really have a preference. I think they're both good, so it should be fun.
Well, awesome, David. Always a pleasure talking to you, man. Glad to see you overcome adversity here tonight. A very solid second, and again, always a great time talking to you. Before I let you sign off, who do you want to give a quick thanks or shout out to that helps make it happen?
Of course, give a shout out to PG-13 and Paul Gibson on the win. He didn't have much competition tonight.
Awesome, David. Always a pleasure, my friend. Hope to be talking to you next week. And again, well done out there this evening.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. And that was David Shutt bringing it home in second. But up next, the man, the myth, the legend, and your season champion, Paul Gibson. Welcome back, my friend. Started on pole, finished on pole, locked up a championship. I'm guessing you can retire now. It doesn't get much better.
Yeah. That was good. That was a good race. Had a good season. So yeah, thank you.
Well, Paul, you were one of the first drivers to switch it up on strategy, staying out on that caution. And really, yeah, one of few drivers that really kind of threw out an alternative game plan there. Now, when that caution came out, did that kind of solidify the plan you had in your head, or was it all fly by wire at that point?
Well, I just ran through the fuel real quick in my head, and if I pitted then, I knew I'd have to pit again. It was going to be a two-stop race at that point if we went in the pits or not. So I elected to stay out and try to just stay out front, stay out of trouble. A couple other folks had some trouble there after that restart, and then that pit stop after that. But yeah, it all worked out really well. So yeah, I knew it was going to be two-stop no matter what we did. So I just elected to stay out.
Well, Paul, I mean, so there's a bunch of guys that were running about the same pace. We saw a bunch of drivers get down to those 112, 0.2s, 0.3s. Do you think the pit strategies would have allowed you to pull that massive gap there at the end?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep. Yeah, I think track position is key. And it's just real hard to get up through the field in these things because there's really only 2 or 3 places.
I think we're good to go. So, Paul, with 2 rounds left in the season, you've already locked everything up. Are you still going to be out there those remaining 2 races? Just given all, I know it's tough for racers to sit on the couch when they could be out there driving. So, what's the plan for the next 2 rounds? And is that going to take away any of the game face we've seen out of you so far this season?
No, I don't think so. I've not ran the car at Laguna Seca yet, so that'd be one that might take a little work. But we just had a race of our own at Gateway not too long ago, so familiar with that place. Yeah, I plan on being at the last 2. So
awesome.
So see everyone there. Yeah.
Awesome. Paul, it's been a pleasure talking to you all season. I'm sure if things go well, I'll talk to you the next couple of weeks. But again, man, congratulations. A perfect race here tonight, locking up a championship. And you're no stranger to this part. You've got the privilege, the pleasure, the final send-offs of the evening. Who do you want to give a shout to that helped make it all happen for you this season?
First and foremost, PG-13 Racing, for sure. We all practice and work together on different cars, different setups, different leagues that we run in. And it really shows. Like, we really do a lot of work to help each other out, going over data and and just giving driving advice and tips and all that kind of stuff. And then to my wife and kids, obviously, thanks for letting me disappear for a couple hours and a week to come down here and play on the basement on the simulator. So
yeah, that's Sarah, Emma, and Lily, correct?
Yep, exactly. Yep.
Well, good. Yeah, the family was here cheering you on tonight.
Oh yeah, okay, cool. And then to you guys for putting this on. Trent Brown, he's ran a couple races here. He runs our league on our team, and it's a ton of work. We know it is, so thank you for putting it on.
Awesome. Paul, again, congratulations, man. It's been a lot of fun calling the action, and congrats again on tonight and the championship. It's definitely well earned.
Thank you.
And now it's Paul Gibson bringing home the #1 spot as well as locking up the championship here for the Racing for Children's IndyCar Series. Fun, competitive racing for charity. It was David Shutt, Jared Ziegler rounding out the podium. And don't forget, those 2nd and 3rd place championship spots still to be decided here. So again, thank you to our fans, friends, family, and sponsors supporting the league, supporting the charity, as well as supporting the broadcast. My name has been James East with Team Goon Squad Broadcasting. Thank you all so much for showing up, cheering your favorite drivers on, and I'll look forward to seeing you next week. Have a great night, everybody.